Hey everybody, this is Brandon Ford and welcome to another edition of the Blind Rage podcast. This time around we are doing the notorious John Waters cult classic Pink Flamingos starring Divine and Mink Stole. This is the first John Waters movie that I've done since Serial Mom so many years back for the B-Movie Bonanza podcast, which is pretty surprising since he is one of my film idols. But yeah, moving right along, I would like to encourage you all to visit my Amazon author page by going to Amazon.com, hitting the drop down, selecting books, typing in Brandon Ford. There you will find my author page as well as several of my titles in paperback and Kindle editions. You could also find my books in audio format by going to audible.com or the Audible app and typing in Brandon Ford. I have 9 titles up to date and more to come. Also, you can follow me on Instagram by going to Instagram. What is it? Fucking my at writer Brandon Ford is my Instagram handle. There we go. Also, if you would like to reach out and touch me, if you'd like to reach out with any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, criticism, recommendations, suggestions, or if you just want to say hi, please feel free to email me directly at blindragepod81@gmail.com. That's blindragepod81@gmail.com. Or you could contact me on Instagram as well. And a reply is guaranteed. However, if you just send me a message and just say hi without a period or even a introduction about yourself, little about yourself, use your words, you probably won't hear back from me because I get way too many of those messages and they irk me. So yeah, use your words. That's all I'm gonna say. So I am using the DVD, the New Line Cinema DVD as a source for Pink Flamingos, and I'm going to start the movie with a 3 count. So if you want to watch along, have your movie queued up and ready to go. In 3, 2, 1, play. You got the New Line Cinema logo. I could see out of the corner of my eye, my peripheral. I'm sitting here in the dark in super black sunglasses because my eyes have been so sensitive. So yeah, this is Pink Flamingos. I always forget if it's 1971, 72. I don't know. But this is, of course, one of the early John Waters endeavors. And as he says, or as he's said, he made vehicles for Divine, and this was a Divine vehicle. He and Divine were very close friends since high school. And he wrote these scripts with Divine in the lead role. So, and as I said before, John is one of my film idols. I think my 2 favorite directors of all time, the directors I admire more than any other, the directors I consider to be my idols are John Waters and Frank Henenlotter, which is fun to me that they're friends and have worked together. Frank helped provide a lot of the old black and white footage that is used or seen in A Dirty Shame, which is very, very unpopular among John Waters fans. I don't know why, because I think it's really funny. And I just thought of something that A Dirty Shame was, I'm pretty sure, the first NC-17 movie that John did since Pink Flamingos. I don't believe Female Trouble or Desperate Living had an NC-17. I could be wrong, and I often am. Okay, this intro is going way too long. Can we move it along with the movie? And yeah, and to date, A Dirty Shame is John's last film. He hasn't made a feature in 17 years. And there's John. He's doing what he thinks is a Baltimore accent. Well, granted, I don't live in Baltimore. I've never lived in Baltimore. I don't know any Baltimoreans. But he claims that's what Baltimoreans sound like. And as a born and bred Baltimorean himself, I guess I'll have to take his word for it. I don't know. And here's one of the worst actors to ever grace the silver screen, Edith Massey. But getting back to that introduction where John introduces himself as Mr. J, it's in one of the documentaries. Might be in Divine Trash or in Bad Taste. I think it's in Divine Trash, which is an excellent documentary if you're a John Waters fan. Yeah, so John said that there was a wig shop in Baltimore that was pretty popular, and there were ads done by the owner, who went by Mr. Ray, who spoke in, as he says, a very thick Baltimorean accent, and he wanted Mr. Ray to do that intro that John just did. And he went into the shop, asked him, and Mr. Ray told him absolutely not, and basically threw him out of the shop. So John called himself Mr. J and did his best impression of Mr. Ray for the introduction to the film. And I don't know if Mr. Ray ever found out about it, but if he did, I don't think he cared. So yeah, this is Edith Massey, and she's terrible. And she has a huge fan base, though. And there's John again. Two jealous perverts. But Edith Massey was discovered, I believe, by a friend of John's, who she was working as a bartender or working at a bar. I don't know what the hell she was doing. And this friend of John called him, said, "You got to come and meet this woman." And of course, John is smitten with people who are characters, people who are very much individuals and have a lot of personality. And while Edith Massey is not a gifted actor, she definitely has a lot of personality, and she was, in real life, definitely a character. I think there was for sure, some cognitive issues, although I can't say indefinitely, but having seen her in interviews and in the films, She definitely seems like she was hit on the head a couple times. Um, so yeah, they became fast friends and remained friends until she died. I think this is the first time that they worked together. And she wasn't an actor. She never had any real ambition to be an actor. She never, I don't think she ever even gave it a thought. But I don't know the story. I don't remember. I might have once because a lot of what went on behind the scenes is included in John's book Shock Value, which I haven't read in a number of years, but he chronicled a lot of all the stuff that went on during these years and during his childhood. It's everything up until polyester, right before polyester, because I believe it was published in 81, which was when polyester came out. And yeah, he talks a lot about the family that the Dreamland family, as he called his crew, because he worked with a lot of the same people, pretty much all the same people, essentially, as far as behind the scenes go. A lot of the same actors. A lot of Van Smith did a lot of the same stuff, and he worked with Mink over and over and over again. He worked with Divine up until Divine's death. Divine was in all of his movies, like except for Desperate Living, because Divine was doing a play at the time. He was doing Women in Prison with Beverly Bonner of Basket Case fame. So there was some assumptions that there was some bad blood between the two of them at the time that Desperate Living was made, but you know, Divine was never it was never understood between John and Divine that Divine would work exclusively in John's films or John's productions. You know, Divine wanted to be an actor, and he wanted to branch out. So, and he did. He did do other things in addition to John's films and the Women in Prison play. He also did a slasher movie where he played a detective called Out of the Dark, and he did oh fuck, A Lust in the Dust with Lainey Kazan, which kind of is like a John Waters movie, which is pretty funny. Um, I think it's Connie Mueller right there. She's another member of the Dreamland team. I haven't fallen in love in 3 whole days. Oh God, painful. But with Edith Massey too, and she has said this several times that she had a lot of trouble remembering her lines. Again, think it had something to do with some sort of cognitive limitations. So she would write them over and over and over again on line paper, like, a kid trying to memorize vocabulary words. She would write her lines. Because John was not too happy. And John is the kind of writer director who wants the lines as written. I don't believe he leaves any room for improvisation. You say the lines as they are in the script. You don't deviate. And I know that well, I don't know if I would say shouting matches. I don't know for sure exactly what went on between he and Edith, but she did say that he did get upset with her when she couldn't remember her lines, which was invariably. And so, yeah, she took to writing them over and over again so that she could avoid any form of confrontation. And what I don't understand, if, she never wanted to be an actor and she knew she wasn't any good at it and she couldn't remember her lines, why she didn't just quit. But I guess nobody could say no to John. And, you know, I always said that because of the group of friends that John had, these are all Baltimoreans for the most part. All the cast and the crew, everybody he knew from Baltimore, from for the most part. And these are all people he grew up with and worked with regularly, and people who followed him from his what was it, 8 millimeter films to his studio films, and were true to him up until their deaths. And yeah, John had said in one of his commentaries that oftentimes when he would go back to do commentaries for some of the older films, that it would be, or each time he would do commentaries for a film, a new commentary for a film, it would be very depressing because he would come to find that someone else had passed on, and it would be from alcoholism, drug abuse, or a variety of reasons. These are not people who lived healthy lives. So, yeah. And I always said that if I had a group of friends who were as faithful as John's were, I think I might have tried to make films of my own. I I knew that the chance of anyone being reliable enough to show up, even on the first day, to do anything would be impossible. And it's interesting because, um, I was in a relationship with someone for 3.5 years, give or take, who was a musical theater major and had aspirations of working as a performer, as an actor. And when we first met, I thought, oh, this is awesome. I finally met somebody who I can perhaps make short films with. And remember approaching him with the idea, which he was not very excited about. And, I tried to persuade him. I wrote a script for a short film that included two characters. I would be directing, of course, as well as starring. He would be my co-star. And it was about 15 pages. Like I said, it was a short film. And I was going to shoot it on a DV cam. And it wasn't something that I think I was going, well, depending on how it turned out, but it wasn't something that I was going to try to get anywhere in the industry with, because as much as I love film, and I think it will be fun to work on, my heart belongs to prose, and I just enjoy writing fiction more than anything. And I don't think I have a vision for cinema per se, but I wrote this short film and I presented it with him. He wasn't all that, I don't even remember if he said he liked it. And first thing that I did in preparation for it was do a recorded reading of the script. And it was just the two of us sitting on a couch and reading the script. And I did the stage direction as well as my role. And to say that he was less than enthusiastic would would be putting it mildly. You could even see it, I remember, in his face. Thankfully, I don't have that recording anymore. But you could even see it in his face how not into it he was. And he gave a very lackluster performance. And I remember showing the tape to a couple of people who said, I gave a better performance than he did, and I have absolutely no training whatsoever. So I don't know if he was trying to be bad or if he just really didn't care or whatever, but I think shortly thereafter I asked what he thought about, when he thought he would like to do the movie, when he would like to start shooting, if he had any ideas, blah, blah, blah. And he came clean and said, I really don't want to do this. Of course, why? He thought that making a short film, or me making a film with him, or his participation in a short film that I was writing and directing and filming, was essentially making a mockery of his craft. Yeah, this was somebody who took themselves way too seriously. Way too seriously. And so, yep, the movie never got made. And which is probably for the best, because I doubt it would have turned out well. And especially since if I can't edit audio, I sure as hell can't edit video. My God, I never realized just how much music there is in this movie. So yeah, and this was around the time too that I was reading Shock Value, or that I read Shock Value, and I learned all about John's homegrown crew, essentially, and how he met people from school and from local hangouts and friends of friends and people at parties, and slowly but surely his I guess entourage, no, that's not the right word, his group, his core group grew. And he went from making short films like Hag in a Black Leather Jacket and the Diane Lake Letter Story to making silent films like Mondo Trasho, to making his first black and white feature, which was Multiple Maniacs, and then that led to Pink Flamingos, which actually got distribution by New Line Cinema, of all places, who was just a distributor at that time. And New Line did put out, I think about half of his films. All of the early ones, except for Mondo Trasho, Mondo Trasho and Multiple Maniacs did not. They did not put out, but it was Pink Flamingos and Female Trouble and Desperate Living and Polyester and Hairspray and there's a big gap between Polyester and Hairspray, and because of it, he was trying to get he was working on another book, and he was trying to get a sequel to Pink Flamingos off the ground called Flamingos Forever, which, believe it or not, Troma was going to finance. And He met with Lloyd. He told the story. I don't remember where he told the story. It might be on the commentary for this disc, which I haven't listened to in a while. But he met with Lloyd, and what broke or what solidified. See, there's so much music in this fucking movie. What solidified his decision not to go ahead with it was the trauma editing suite. When he walked in and he saw what they were working with as far as editing equipment, he said, I don't know about this. And this is coming from somebody who was cutting and splicing and taping movies together in his attic, in his parents' attic. And so it must have been looking pretty bad at Trauma Studios. So Flamingos Forever never got made. I'm not sure why New Line didn't want to finance it or why you couldn't find financing anywhere else. Probably because Pink Flamingos was so notorious at the time that people didn't want to touch it. So yeah, but there is a book that has the Flamingos Forever screenplay in it, as well as two other. I think it's Mondo Trasho and Hairspray, if I'm not mistaken. And that is the book that I had John sign because it was the book that he was doing a signing for in 2005 when I met him. And yeah, so I never read the book because it had his signature in it and I didn't want to mess it up, so I kept it in as pristine condition as I possibly could. So yeah, it remains unread. So I should have bought two of them just so I could read the script. But I can't remember if Hairspray or Serial Mom was my first John Waters film. I don't know. I really don't know, but I was quite smitten with Serial Mom. I loved it the first time I saw it. It remains my favorite John Waters film. And after that, I followed his career very closely. And if I didn't see Hairspray before Serial Mom, I definitely saw it after the fact. And then I went and I checked out Crybaby, which I hadn't seen because I don't have any interest in musicals. And then every time he had a new movie, I would check it out. So then it went from Pecker to, was there something in between? I don't think so. Pecker, and then Cecil B. Demented, and A Dirty Shame. But as far as his early films were concerned, oh, I saw Polyester too. Yes, I did see Polyester because that was shown late one night on Cinemax or something. So I did see that one. But as far as his early movies, like Pink Flamingos and Female Trouble and Desperate Living, they weren't exactly easy to find. So it had been a long time before I actually saw them. And I believe it wasn't until early 2005 because New Line Cinema put out the Very Crudely Yours box set in early 2005. It had to have been early 2005 because it included Dirty Shame. And yeah, it had all the early movies. It had all the New Line stuff. It didn't have Crybaby or Serial Mom, but it had Pecker Didn't have Cecil B. Demented, which is my least favorite of all the films. Um, that was released by Artisan, and um, so I knew about the dog shit, and I think everybody knows this story about the dog shit. So I'm not even going to bother going into it. And I'm sure it's something that, well, I know that it's something that John is so fucking tired of talking about. It's been almost 50 goddamn years, and he's still asked about this scene. And yeah, if you don't know about it, look it up. And if you don't know of its authenticity, look it up. But I knew about that, and I knew that it was an underground film. I knew that it was a low budget film, and it was a DIY film. And so, and I, like I said, I'd seen Polyester, which was a much more polished film, by the way. But I got pretty much what I was expecting. However, once we got to the fellatio scene between Babs and her son, Babs and her son, I was kind of scandalized, I guess. I guess you can say. I remember feeling very, very dirty, like I needed a shower after I saw this for the first time, primarily because of that scene, because it's hardcore and I wasn't expecting it. I didn't think that John had ever shown anything like that before in any of his films. And is this the chicken fucking? I think it is. I can't see the TV. This is not one of my favorites, by the way, because of, I don't like this with the chicken. Yes, this is the chicken fucking. Where the two characters are fucking with the chicken, with a live chicken in between them, and the chicken is scratching her up. She's got bloody scratches all over her torso, and the actor's name, who I can't remember off the top of my head right now, is being very, very rough with the chicken, who is understandably trying to flee, and every time the chicken tries to get away, he just grabs it very roughly and tosses it back onto her, and she gets more scratches, the chicken gets hurt, and I consider it to be animal cruelty, even though I do eat chicken. But yeah, and they did eat the chicken after they shot the scene. So I think John Waters considers this to be a boon for the chicken, since it got to star in a film before it was cooked and eaten, which it was going to be cooked and eaten anyway from where they purchased it from. Um, I remember they did a Eggman thing on the show 6 Feet Under, because Michael C. Hall's character David was considering having a child and asking his sister to donate her egg, and he had a dream where his boyfriend, God, it's been forever since I've seen that show. But yeah, he has a dream where like his boyfriend is in suspenders and he's on a farm, and he says, "I am the Eggman." I wonder if I don't know. I wonder if it wouldn't surprise me if that this played a role in that. Yeah, and while I knew about the singing asshole scene, it was still gross to look at because because of how wide it opens, and the it's shot in daylight, and the sun is shining, and there really isn't anything left to the imagination as far as what is inside this guy's rectum. So that was unsettling. And as John has said many times before, the person who did the singing asshole scene insisted on remaining nameless, and John has respected that. And to this day, he has kept it secret who the guy was, and the guy has never come out and said and revealed himself. Kind of like the kid who wore the Angela mask for the nude scene at the end of Sleepaway Camp. Wouldn't it be funny if it was the same person? No, I'm just kidding. So basically, the whole premise of this film is two groups of people battling to be the filthiest people alive. That's essentially it. There is a subplot involving this is what I'm referring to. We're involving these women who are being kept in a pit, basically, and are impregnated by their captor, and the babies are being sold in the black market to lesbian couples. So oh god. So now he's going to ejaculate into his palm, inject it into a syringe, or pull it up. Inject, not inject. Draw it into a syringe and then inject it into the girl he wishes to impregnate. Beforehand, he was raping them. This is pretty dark, and there have been cases very similar to this, in that there was just a movie like this on Lifetime where a girl was kept captive in a basement in a bomb shelter, and her father kept impregnating her. So, so yeah, this is pretty twisted when you think about it. I don't remember anybody's names anymore, which is really frustrating me. And this was another movie that I decided to do a commentary for without any preparation, because I knew I was going to have trouble sleeping tonight, and so I thought that this would help me sleep. I'm frustrated That's why, because I'm frustrated with the way things are going with the podcast, as far as having co hosts, because things aren't working the way I would like them to with the website that I chose. And I just recorded a commentary last night that, as of now, is unusable unless it can be saved. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about this stuff, so. But what else did I want to say about this? Oh, I was gonna say, what I can't believe is that there isn't a Criterion edition of this. There's a Criterion Blu-ray of Multiple Maniacs, of Polyester, and Female Trouble, but there's no Criterion edition of Pink Flamingos. I don't understand that. I would think that when you would go to the John Waters vault to start putting things out on Criterion edition, that this would be a no-brainer as the first selection. I don't know. There must be something tied up with the rights, or I don't know, because there's a lot of music in this one. I think this is what I think it is. I will elaborate on it. Oh wow, he's really overacting. Oh my god. Raymond and Connie Marbles, it's their characters. It's Mink Stole there. I think they're having a 69 where they're sucking each other's toes. Like I said, this isn't one of my favorites because it's so fucking gritty and it leaves me feeling dirty. And I know that this is a favorite among John's fans, but I think those are those are the fans who don't like his more polished movies like Hairspray and such. And I like every a bit of everything. Like I said, I think I'm one of the only fans who really enjoys A Dirty Shame. Granted, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it is one that I'd like to do a commentary for. So hopefully that'll be coming down the pike. But yeah, at the time of this recording, I don't know when this is going to be posted, but it is March 6th right now. March 6th, 2021 that I'm recording this. And as of now, there is no Blu-ray of Pink Flamingos. There is no Criterion edition. And as far as I know, no plans for one. But it was good that they put out a fully remastered and restored edition of Multiple Maniacs, especially since that was never especially since that was never even released on DVD. I'm pretty sure that there was an unofficial VHS. I don't know. But that was hard to come by. Cotton. Or was it Crackers? I don't remember which one who was having the chicken sex. Oh my god. Where the fuck is the president? Oh my god. Are you really? Egg paranoia. Okay. I don't think I've seen this one more than 5 times, which says a lot for a John Waters movie. So yeah, you have to forgive me if I don't know the story inside out or the dialogue as well as I know some of the other films. Serial Mom I could recite front to back because, like I said, that's my favorite. Okay, I think that here's the package. A trailer. Oh. Okay, here's the package. Open the package. Someone has sent me a bowel movement. So, yeah, John has said that the night before they were to shoot this scene, he asked Divine if he would defecate into a box, and Divine said, sure. And so that's what he did, and that's what Divine is holding in the scene. Mm. Oh. You know, I mean, with these earlier films, I think that a sequel to Pink Flamingos would have been right at home at Trauma. because some of the acting in the earlier films is of trauma quality, I would say. 'Cause it's very over the top. It's very campy. There's John again. So yeah. Also, there were as there John speaks about his career at length during the one-man show, This Filthy World, which, if you haven't already, I highly recommend, because he goes film by film by film, and it's his entire catalog because it was released in 2006, and like I said, his last film, A Dirty Shame, was 2004. So nothing has come since then. And but what I was going to say before I get ahead of myself was when he spoke about Pink Flamingos, one story that he told, and it's a story that I've heard him tell before. A lot of families rented and loved Hairspray on VHS way back in the mom and pop video store days. And because they thought Hairspray was such a fun, sweet movie for the whole family, and it is, even though it has a touch of, John's dark humor. Um, so they say, they go up to the clerk and they say, "Do you have any other John Waters movies?" And Pink Flamingos is in stock. So they go to, wow, they put on Pink Flamingos in front of the whole family, and are horrified and offended, and then take the tape back to the rental place and complain and complain and complain. And this happened, as far as I understand, with some regularity during the 80s and I guess 90s. And I just think it's funny that these are people who rented a movie rated NC-17 and put it on in front of their children, yet come back and come back and blame the video store for renting them the film. So, so there's that. But there was supposed to be another movie after A Dirty Shame that I would see John go on talk shows quite regularly to promote other things. And he was always asked, what are you working on as far as a new movie? And for a while, he was working, or he had a script that he'd written called Fruitcake, which was supposed to be a children's film. A children's film as only John could make it. And he couldn't get it financed. And so it never came to be. Um, I don't know why he never crowd financed anything. That's what always been the biggest mystery to me. If crowd financing is good enough for Spike Lee, why doesn't John do it? I don't think he would have any trouble crowd financing a film because he has such a vast fan base. So, but I don't know. Trying to think of the name of his most recent book, and of course it's escaping me. But he had a book come out a couple of years. Mr. Know It All, and it was another collection of essays, and I enjoy his essays, although his books try to be in the David Sedaris um, vein, I guess you could say. And while some of his stories are funny and interesting, like in Role Models, and of course the stories in in Shock Value are great. Shock Value is a great book, and because it's all about, you know, his personal life and his film career, and stories, behind the scenes stories of making the film. And um but Mr. Know-It-All, oh no, no, it wasn't Mr. Know-It-All. Before that one, it was Carsick, which was very much a disappointment. I was expecting a lot more from that book, especially from the premise, but it was not good. And Mr. Know-It-All, I was very surprised by. It wasn't bad, but I think it was the most candid John has ever been about his personal life. Because, as far as I know, and I have watched many an interview with him and listened to many a commentary multiple times, and, you know, followed his career pretty closely, read many a book, and relationships, sexual proclivities, things like that, kinks, fetishes, was something that he never wrote about before, at least not him about himself. And I, because of this, and I guess because of his appearance, I always imagined him being asexual. Um, it's just, I mean, I always knew he was homosexual, but I just could never imagine him in a sexual situation with another person. But he does talk about some sexual activity that he engages in with some regularity with his partner, or his live-in partner at the time the book was written and published, anyway. And also, talks about some fetish clubs he experienced, or he things he experienced at some fetish clubs in the past, and some parks that he knew of where men would congregate to engage in sexual activities, primarily mutual masturbation or fellatio. And for that one, I don't know if he said he participated in, but he seemed to know a lot of what was going on. So I would assume, yeah. And yeah, it was just a little jarring to hear John speak about his his this other side to him, because all I really know about him is his creative side. I know he loves fashion. He's very into fashion. He's very into art. Very into photography. He's very into film, of course. He loves Russ Meyer. He loves music. But as far as, you know, relationships and sexual stuff go, it was something that he just never really touched upon. And I think he's making up for lost time with this particular book, because he went into some detail that that shocked me, and I've been a fan of his for a very long time. Because of all this music, I think I really do think that might be one of the main reasons why it is difficult for there to be a Criterion Blu-ray of this, because with a lot of his earlier films, including this one, he would just use music without permission, and distribute the film theatrically, and not pay the whoever owned the rights to the songs. And he ultimately did pay them, because he had to, when the movies got distribution. And I think that's what's keeping it from being released. Oh God, this is the singing asshole scene. This is Babs's birthday party, and this was shot at a different time as their reactions. I know that. So they weren't there when he was doing this. It's really weird. I mean, like I said, I have dark sunglasses on and I can't see the TV, even if I wanted to, which I don't, especially for this particular scene. But I just always remember the moment when he's kind of trying to limber up, and he does this weird walk where he kind of arches his spine, and then he pulls off the little fucking thong or whatever he's wearing and throws his legs over his head and proceeds to do his thing. I did hear a story once, though. He never came out publicly as far as to reveal who he was, but I do remember a story that John said that whoever this guy is told John that during a screening, the performer, I don't know what else to call him other than that, the performer sat next to someone, or the performer, I don't know if he would do this regularly or if he just did it once or a couple times, I don't remember. But I know that there was at least one scene where he sat next to someone, and when the scene started, he tapped them on the shoulder and said, "That's me," And what their reaction was, I don't quite remember, but I'm sure that they were absolutely thrilled. Another thing that I love too always loved about John's movies, for the most part, there's a lot of documentaries, as I said, but with Crybaby in general, and A Dirty Shame in particular, there are extensive documentaries. There's the Crybaby one, I believe, is about an hour and has interviews with almost the entire cast and crew, including Johnny Depp, and I believe that was a brand new interview that he did for the special edition DVD that came out at the time. And yeah, he had Amy Locane, and unfortunately Susan Terrell had passed, but yeah, and Tracy Lords was interviewed as well. And there was also a very extensive behind-the-scenes documentary on A Dirty Shame that I think was about, I know it was over an hour, maybe 75 minutes, give or take. Maybe a little less. But I remember it being pretty comprehensive about the making of the film. And then there was the commentary. He loves doing commentaries, I know that. One thing that I don't like about the Criterion editions is that when they do them, they will only include the Criterion commentary tracks because with Female Trouble, I believe with Female Trouble, and I know that there was a Laserdisc Criterion edition of Polyester, so he did commentary tracks for those, and then different ones for the DVD releases. So you have to have the DVDs in order to have the commentary tracks, unless you extract them. Um, mm. So yeah, if there's a I don't know if there is a Laserdisc Criterion edition of Pink Flamingos. I don't think that there are Criterion Laserdiscs for all of the older films. There really is a lot of music in this movie, and I'm sure that it was not cheap to get the rights to use it. Oh no. Okay, this scene is really gross, and it's a scene that leads up to an even grosser scene with the fellatio between Babs and Son. But they break into the Marbles residence and proceed to lick and spit all over everything to like leave their mark. Between her brittle chapped lips. That's oddly descriptive. Oh, I uh look at the couch and spitting on the everything. Uh I wonder because John had said that he had written a lot of these early scripts longhand, and I'm pretty sure this was shot over the course of a year on weekends, and he would write the scene the night before. I don't think that he went in with a completed script. They began with a completed script. Oh my god. I wonder if there's anything cut. I don't think so. All this fucking dialogue. Oh my god. Unfortunately, the only one of John's films I've seen on the big screen is A Dirty Shame because I didn't know about them when they were first released. This was like um pre pre-internet era. I heard about A Dirty Shame through word of mouth, and because I don't know. I don't know why I didn't hear about Cecil B. Demented. I think I just found out about it when I saw it at the video store. And same with Pecker. Um, but there was a 5 year period in between Serial Mom and Pecker. Oh God. Oh no. Please don't. Please, please don't. Uh, oh, oh my God. From what I remember, he couldn't even get boned. Another scene that goes on way too long is the burning of the trailer. And it's it's kind of funny the way it collapses because it is the trailer, and it was a trailer. I don't know. I don't think it was built for the movie. I think it was an actual trailer that they bought for I don't know, like $250, $500, something like that. It's in shock value how much they paid for the trailer. But it it looks when it collapses, it just looks like four walls and a roof. That's it. It doesn't look like, like a motor home. Like it just looks like a very poorly made box that just fell apart. Everybody is so loud. The dialogue is almost screamed, yelled. This is like basic. These are like basic. If they were actually actors, one would think that they'd gotten their start on the stage because they're really projecting. caused me untold misery. I don't this so much of this dialogue uh, is tongue twisters. I don't, and these are non-actors. How they were able to pull this off, I have no idea. And for this to be shot on film, did he say I come for you? Oh. Oh no. I'm trying to remember when the hell the last time I saw this was. I know it's been a while. Okay, now that so yeah, when yeah, it's a famous story, I guess. And I guess everybody, I just automatically assume that everybody's heard all the stories about John, so I don't know which ones to tell and which ones to save. Um but I guess like yeah. Mink stole who is lighting the trailer on fire when she lit the torch to throw inside the door. The flame was a little too big and her coat almost caught on fire. This was shot from, I guess, a good enough distance so everybody was safe and they wouldn't damage the camera. But yeah, I guess they couldn't get the effect of the flame. He added some weird sound effect. I don't remember what it was, but it's a weird crackling sound effect and it does not really sound like fire. And I remember he was accused in one review for the film for being a pyromaniac because he stayed so long on that shot of the trailer being burned. But I totally get why he lingered on that shot of the trailer burning because it was essentially his money shot, in the film. It was the one and only special effect, and it was a very low grade special effect. And yeah, like I said, they shot far away, I guess, just in case it might explode. I sincerely doubt they had any kind of a fire marshal or anybody there because none of this, no, they didn't have any permits for this stuff way back when. They just went out and shot. And there were cases when John had to run from the police. I think it was on the set of it was either Mondo Trasho or I think it was Multiple Maniacs. Because there's supposed to be a naked hitchhiker, or Divine was imagining that the hitchhiker was naked, so the actor was really naked standing in the middle of the street, and I guess somebody called the police. Okay, so now because Babs and her son have been there and licked and spat all over everything and left their mark, the furniture rejects them, which I think was a very interesting idea. And there were people, I know that there was somebody inside the couch who pushed them off. Because, of course, no real special effects or mechanics. Oh, something just went wrong with the couch. Oh, no. Why would you call the police? What? What? How could you call? I mean, I know this is supposed to be a ridiculous comedy, but how could you call the police and be like, okay, yeah, the women we've been keeping captive in a pit and impregnating them so we could sell their offspring, as well as the man we chose to look after them. He's been killed, and the girls have escaped. So yeah, could you send somebody, please? I need to file a report. Oh. The news. Oh, the news. Yeah, this is probably one of the most famous scenes in the movie. Oh my god, exhausting. And if the character's name is Babs, why does Divine keep calling himself Divine? Oh, oh my god, this movie is crazy. Mm. I don't know if I read this in one of the books. I think I did read this in one of the books. I'm pretty sure it was in shock value. But for a lot of Divine's outfits, the dresses, especially the famous fishtail dress that he wears on the poster for Pink Flamingos, he was too big to fit into any of the sizes that they had available for the dress. So they had to buy two and sew them together. I remember Devine's line here. Oh. Hot, freshly killed blood. Eat shit. Mm. John does have something of a fascination with the judicial system, you know, because it appears in several of his films, including, well, this is not, obviously not a real trial, but then you got uh, Female Trouble and Serial Mom. I know there's some other stuff. Oh my god. I was just thinking that I really needed to. There have been a lot of famous people who have been dropping off like flies as of late, and I think it's interesting that none of them really have been dying of. I don't even want to say the word, but oh, the source of the pandemic. But yeah, everybody has been dying for other reasons, and John is up there in age. I think he's like 75, something. I have to check on him, see what he's up to. I mean, and Herschel Gordon Lewis made movies, or his last movies, well into his 80s. So I guess there's still a chance that John might make something else. And once again, I loved A Dirty Shame, but it was so poorly received by by fans and critics alike. So maybe he doesn't want to go out with that being his swan song. I'm always game for a new John Waters movie. But yeah, A Dirty Shame tends to be the least favorite among the fans. I think I'm pretty much one of the only ones who claims to dislike Cecil B. Demented. I just never liked it. I just thought it was. I don't. I liked the beginning of it before Melanie Griffith's character gets kidnapped and they do the whole Patty Hearst reenactment and the film cult thing, and then there was just stupid stuff with the making of Forrest Gump 2 with Kevin Nealon as Forrest Gump. I don't know, it just didn't work for me. Mm. Assholism. Oh no. I don't know what the fuck that was, but the room just shook. That's what I need a fucking whatever you call it. Oh shit. Oh. It sounds very much like they're setting up a sequel. As far as I know, that the sequel wasn't written until the 80s. Okay, here's the most notorious scene in the film. This is so cringy. And John made sure he got a shit-eating grin to go with his shit-eating. And a shit-eating grin he got because there is fecal matter smeared across Divine's teeth when he smiles. At least from what I remember. Okay. That was Pink Flamingos, John Waters' cult classic. Oh, I still don't know how I feel about it. No. Oh, God. Definitely over the top. Definitely out there. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for staying with me until the bitter end. Until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.